Welcome. You're probably so tired of seeing me check my mic. I've sat here before and talked for like 15 minutes and found out my mic was off. And if I'm hooked up to the mic, if I talk, it's like totally silent if it's not on. It's not like, it picks up some other place. So hold on, I'm gonna have my coffee because it's really early. Beautiful day here in Atlanta, Georgia. I got up at 5 o'clock this morning and meditated, and just really, there's another shift. Now this is May of 2018, this video is, and another shift's happening, a frequency shift that's going up. So now we went through some challenges. 2017, real breakthrough, but it really brought some things to the, like if you boil something and there's like chicken or something, all the gooey stuff comes to the top. That's what's been happening to sort of, it's like continually clearing it off, and you scoop it off, right? And you clear that water out. And that's what's been happening with 2017. So 2018 has really been like really releasing, opening the floodgates. Now, some of you may be experiencing some not so nice things going on. This is your shift. So what's happening is people are thinking, wait a minute, we're in the fourth dimension, we're going to the fifth, stuff's going wrong for me. Yeah, guess what? You're releasing all the stuff that you were, that ego, that personality that was rooted in density is now being released. So a lot of you are having a lot of financial problems going on out there. A lot. Because those old habits, the old way of functioning and thinking was always about making money, getting ahead, power, prestige, all this stuff. And you're not in that place anymore. Your energy is shifted, so it's not a match for you. So you're having to let go and change how you handle money, how you handle your career, how you make money, how you view the world. So if you're so focused on just making money and surviving again, then you're not breaking through to the higher picture, the bigger meaning of what all that could do for you, which will bring total abundance. It's like, what can I do with it? What gifts do I have to give to this world that will reward me? You need to be rewarded. Some of you are like, you're like allergic to money or something. I love money. I love money. Money gets me a first class plane ticket. Money got me to London for 2 weeks, and the Dominican Republic, and St. Simon's Island, and Portland, Oregon, and California, and all the places I've been to the last couple of years. I've been traveling like crazy. I don't even think about it. I get on a plane. I changed my life. I did a shift. I was an investment banker, very successful, a slave to that. I released it. I am now in control of my destiny. Yes, challenges come along the way. They are reminders of things that I have to change, that I continually have to up my game. Herein is the subject of this video. Awakening. What does it mean? What are the signs? Are you awakened? What is it? And you're probably all going, no. And you would be most likely wrong. If you're on this channel, you are already on the path to awakening. Awakening is not an overnight, flip the switch for most people. And the people that have done that, like Eckhart Tolle and Buddha and whatever, went through a very long struggle to get there. It didn't happen overnight. It was a long, Buddha, like he was years and years and years wandering and studying and trying fasting and all these things he was trying, and finally, boom, one day it just happened. But he was seeking it for many, many, many years, his lifetime, right? And same thing with Eckhart Tolle. He had to hit rock bottom and had a really challenging life before, he wanted to kill himself. Who wants to go to those depths? Well, he did, and now he's in a very peaceful place. But I want you to understand what that means. So I've been in mega awakened states And what I didn't know is that you don't stay there. And I've heard years later, I never knew this, and I was trying to figure out what it all was because I didn't know what was happening to me. What happened later, I knew that my powers were off the charts crazy too, my manifesting powers and my peace and euphoria. I actually was outside my body most of the time. But here's what happened is I was like, okay, I came down from there. I later on, a few years later, had heard Eckhart Tolle speak, and he said, if you stayed in that super heightened awakened state, he said, you will come down from it. I'm like, oh my God, somebody's actually talking about this. If you come down from it, it's because it allows you to function in the world like a person, a regular person, on a higher frequency. But if I had stayed in that frequency, there is no way I could have functioned in this world. I wanted nothing to do with it. I couldn't even watch TV. I couldn't watch any TV of any kind. To me, it was so disturbing and violent. And I had, there was no reason for me to connect to that energy. It was difficult to be around negative energies because it served no purpose to be around them, and you shouldn't be around them either. You're not there to fix negative energies. Everybody has their own journey. Well, that's another video. I've made 2,000 videos, so I'm sure you'll find it somewhere. So what happens is, awakening is usually, for most people, a process. Sometimes it is facilitated by real struggle, real pain. What it does is real pain, it pushes you to release everything because nothing else is working. So if your ego's not working and everything you do isn't working, it's just, the more you do it, the more painful it is. You finally give up. You just lay down and literally don't care if you die. And they call the dark night of the soul. That's a total release. That's total giving it, handing it over to God, to the one. And then that higher frequency is now in control. So the density of the ego and the thinking and the beliefs and the judgment, all that, is no longer in the way. And so that's why the dark night of the soul can be so powerful, because then you completely give it up. Well, most people are not giving up their ego and their control, and they still think they know everything. And I get a lot of comments that this is how things are, and then they're quoting the Bible and all that stuff. I'm like, that's cool. That's cool for you. Just like the stuff I say. It's cool for me. You don't have to believe it. But when we want and have to have other people, somebody had commented about, I wish these New Agers, I'm like, what are you talking about? You wish these New Agers would believe what you do? Well, then you're not in a good place. You're not in an awakened state. An awakened state is respectful of others' beliefs. Buddhists, and people they see this stuff and they make judgments about what I am. I'm nothing. I don't have a religion. I don't have anything. I'm nothing. I just believe in that we are light and love, and we are the one experiencing everything for whatever crazy reason, right? You get down here and you go, what the heck is it? Really? This was supposed to be fun? Well, no, it's not, because we're in a dense place and we have a mission. That's my next video. So, when you are awakening, you're aware. You're now aware that when you speak and it doesn't sound nice, it's not good and that you shouldn't be doing it. Now, when you go into the higher awakened state, you start giving up the judging, the gossip, the negative stuff on TV. You're not even addicted to it anymore. You don't even want to see it. It's disturbing. So you have to practice staying away from it, because it pollutes your energy. It brings your vibration down, your frequency. So you are going into an awakened state. You don't lose your personality. You don't become some like Zen, you experience fear. You just don't react to it anymore. You experience sadness. You'll cry, probably cry more. When you're awakened, you cry a lot more, mostly because things are beautiful, not because they're sad. In fact, some sad things just don't control you anymore, because they're actually just not really real. They're just short experiences that will pass quickly, and that there's a purpose in those experiences, and that, you know, things will all go back to the one at some point, and that some gain is coming from that experience, and that we're here to raise that frequency so that people less and less do stupid stuff. What's stupid stuff? Lower frequencies that contributes nothing to this planet. That's just stupidity. We're done with it. You don't have to do that anymore. What are you doing on a lower frequency that's keeping you from going further into an awakened state? Are you talking nasty about people? Are you judging other people? Are you believing that everybody has to believe what you do, or that they're wrong? Or are you saying, you know what? We all are right. Everybody's right. You believe what you do, and it's right for you now, and you may change that. I believe stuff now that I never in a million years would have believed years ago before I went into awakened state. Now, some of the things that happen when you go into awakened state, let me have a swig here. You'll have physical changes. We've got so much to talk about, it isn't funny. I had to write all this stuff down. I've got a lot. I meditated at 5 o'clock this morning. I just got flooding with all these things I know you guys need to know. So when you go in awakened state, super awakened state, first of all, you don't even need to watch this video because you already know what it is. Not everybody's symptoms or what they experience is necessarily the same. But I can tell you one thing, and that is you become expansive. So you're less attached to your body. Your energy expands. That's why I have an energy meditation. Go watch that. I have you push your energy out. So the more you connect to your energy, you are everything anyways. But when you become aware of it, your focus is what creates and manifests. So when you're focused on all of this power out here and not me, and the density, you actually connect to it. And then that's when you become a higher frequency, more peaceful, joyful. You're not concerned about the stuff anymore. And then what happens is you're back here. I can remember being back here. It's like I was watching myself. It was an effort to speak because there was this body standing there that I couldn't even relate to. I remember looking at my hand and going, ew, it looked like a claw. It was sort of weird. It was like I couldn't even really connect to my body anymore. It was really weird. And my dreams were, wow, going into the vortex. I remember going into a vortex. It was turning. Beings speaking to me and giving me information that was really mind-blowing. Many years ago, when I was in the super awakened state, I was told everything is one thing, all happening at the same time. There's no such thing as time, so everything's just happening. The one is just happening. I'm like, what? I didn't know about probabilities, dimensions. I didn't know about any of that stuff. I hadn't read anything like that. I had read Eckhart Tolle is the only thing I had read, and that didn't really go into all that stuff. And I was like, what do you mean we're one in everything? It's not simultaneously happening. It's just one thing happening. And basically you can't wrap your head around it because we're not functioning on that level. We think that this is our world and there's nothing else in this, and that couldn't be further from the truth. But if you believe that, it's true for you. That's okay. You're not ready to accept the fact that you are the creative power of the universe says. You know, I don't get that one. If universe is like endless, how can there be multiple universes? Okay, so we're not going to go there. Awakened state, releasing everything. Releasing everything. No thought is even necessary. What do you need to think about? You put stuff on a calendar. You know when you have to be someplace. You know when you have to eat and go to the bathroom, right? You don't have to think about it. Thinking is usually worry, judgment, all this. I can sit and meditate and not have one thought come in. Can you do it right now? Let's do it right now. Right now, I want you, and this is something I read in Eckhart Tolle's book. He said, if do this little exercise. I thought this was fun. Ask yourself what your next thought's going to be. So right now, what's my next thought going to be? I could probably sit here for an hour and not have a thought. It's like you're talking to something else and you're waiting for it, and it is you, so it's going, oh, wait a minute. It's the same thing with fear. I just had this conversation with somebody. I told them about my silly, I did a video with a puppet. It's cute. Picture fear as something that thought it was protecting you. You've conditioned it. You're the one that told it to talk all the time, right? And so because you are part of the collective and the centuries of conditioning, you are part of that. So think of it as some fuzzy, cute little thing. And it's all of a sudden when you look at something and it's going, you aren't good enough and you're never going to be rich and blah, blah, blah. You need to quit this because this is just your pipe dreams and blah, blah, blah. And you're going, stop. And it's going, no. And then when you look at it, you go, I don't believe you anymore. It's going, yeah, you do. You're going, you stop. And it goes, oh, okay. Nobody's listening to me. And you're just looking at it. You're not running from it. It's chasing you. You're looking at it going, now what are you going to say? And there's silence. So when you put the spotlight on all this stuff, it looks ridiculous. And that's you going to awakened state. That's you releasing the ego, the fear. What is that? It's you. You're doing it. There's no other person. It does have a collective energy. But since we're everything, it's still a part of you. So when you look at it and say, okay, what's the next thing you're going to say when you're in a fearful mode? Don't be silent. Start releasing it. Release. Go to the higher power. Let go. It's in control. It's you anyways. It's not going to do anything that's not wonderful for you. Let go, and that's the awakened state. So you'll get closer to that feeling when you go, ooh, you're going to wake up someday. Sometimes when I talk to you guys and I talk about this stuff, I get almost like lightheaded. I start to go outside my body. I actually feel it. I get expansive. I feel like I'm in the whole room. My consciousness expands. And the same thing will happen to you. Sometimes you'll have these experiences where you're expansive or you feel energy from plants. I do that a lot. Go out in nature and just sit and be aware of your energy and feel the energy from plants. That's going in an awakened state. Don't discount that. These are all experiences of you connecting to everything outside of your ego, your density, your body. And then you have to make the effort, because this is a progression, to let go of the negative stuff. Stop watching the news. Quit criticizing the government. You're in control. Nobody tells you how to think and feel. Big deal. Pay your taxes and move on. Take control of your world. If you don't like what they're teaching in school, put your kids out and teach them yourself. Get some neighborhood thing going. We're in control. We're not victims anymore. And that's going in awakened state. That's changing this world, changing the frequency for the good, and not blaming or criticizing, just saying, I'm taking my power. Bless you. Not listening to you anymore. I don't care what the president's tweeting. I don't even know the first thing about that stuff. I don't watch it. It is a pollution of my energy. So clean it up. Get the garbage out. You are going into an awakened state, but you will not progress until you have to physically take action to do certain things, to meditate as much as you can. As much as you can. Do you go to bed? Then you have time to meditate, because I don't care if it's 10 minutes before you fall asleep. Sit up, and if you fall asleep meditating, that's cool. At least you went into that peaceful state, and you'll do it longer and longer and longer, and it will clear out the garbage so that you won't wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning sweating and worrying. Awakened state means that you'll find that maybe you don't want to eat meats and heavy stuff anymore. You don't want to eat anything that has chemicals or really negative energy of how we treat our animals. and our plants and the chemicals we put on everything, you're actually going to find yourself really repulsed by it. And you're going to find also that it's really changing. You're physically changing. Stuff's going to happen that's going to be amazing. All right, so I'll give you an example. This is one of like thousands of things that I've experienced. All right, so I went to the Dominican Republic, and the allergies here in Atlanta are just like crazy. Everything's blooming. I went to DR and everything cleared up. So I didn't have to take any meds of any kind, any allergy pills. So I was there for a week, and I came back and I decided I wasn't going to take any pills because I don't want any meds in my body. It's been a few weeks and I've been off of them, and amazingly I've had no issues at all. And my neighbor and a couple other people told me that their allergies are so bad right now that they are like living on meds, and I'm not. What happened? I made a decision. Now, maybe it's possible that what's blooming they're allergic to, and I'm not. I'm also allergic to cats, and my little coo baby, my stray kitty, I now cuddle him and kiss his face with no reaction at all. What is that? Our bodies shift, we have control. There's things that happen without us consciously even knowing. It doesn't mean all these things are going to go away. Somebody said, what about diabetes? If you were meant to come into this world with diabetes, and that for some reason is a role, don't assume that all these things are all negative. If you have some kind of physical affliction, your awakening might be living with that as a person with a physical disability that is learning how to live with that on a higher frequency and level. We're always naming that bad, like we should never be sick, and at some point we won't be. Awakening is at some point none of us will be sick, but there will actually be light beings at some point. So awakening comes in so many different stages. It's happening to you because you're on these channels. You're seeking answers. You're seeking joy and peace. You're seeking not just how to manifest the lottery, winning the lottery, because that's not my channel. You know that. I give you the power to do that from my teachings, but you are the only one that has the power to implement it, right? You have that power. I have no free will over you. I can't. Somebody said, can you pray for a computer for me? No, you can pray for a computer for you. If you don't have one, you're blocking it. Why would I waste my time praying for you to have a computer? If you don't have one, you're blocking it somewhere. So you need to work on that. I'm not going to waste my time. I will send out light and love, healing to people, those who are receiving. But if you have blocks, you've got to work on clearing them out. What is it you're believing? Release to the higher power. Everything has to be released to the higher power. Send your light and your love out every day. That raises your frequency. It opens you up to your awakened state. Abundance, manifesting positive things instead of manifesting things you don't want. Giving up the thinking. You don't need to think anymore. Tell me one thing you have to think about. Well, I have to plan this. No, you don't. You can plan without some deep thinking about, well, he's going to say this and she's going to. You don't have to do that. Pull thinking from the creative consciousness, writing songs, planning ideas to talk about in my videos, writing books, ideas in your business, whatever. That's not thinking. Those are ideas. That's sharing creativity and expansion. You are awakening. So if you're experiencing any of these things, the frequency of the planet has changed too. So you may have experienced some weird changes. Your body is having, your DNA is starting to kick in. The junk DNA that's not being used starting to kick in so that we can survive physically on the higher frequency. Because in the third dimension, these bodies just wouldn't cut it. So I assume have gone into the fourth dimension. You're probably thinking, what is that? For me, it's been fabulous. This world has been just an awesome place. Stuff's still happening. I'm still on Earth. You don't become a Zen person. You'll feel like a Zen person, but you don't become some personality-less monk that doesn't have a glass of wine. Even Eckhart Tolle says, I like wine and coffee. He goes, what people think you don't do. We're on the planet. You're a human being. Experience it. It's fun. I love it. I drink champagne and I'm starting to give up some certain foods that so we're shifting into something right now again. All right, so it's happening to you, but you have to facilitate it. Release the thinking, give it up. If you find yourself thinking, go, I don't need to do that. Light and love to the planet, light and love to the universe. Thank you, thank you, thank you for allowing me to be here to progress on this master learning planet. Owie. You're not going to be here that long, so make the best of it, right? Do your best. Jeez, do you know how quick this goes? No such thing as time anyways. You are whole and perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. You are awakening. You're on the path. Keep it going. Keep it going. I'm counting on you. Namaste.